Yeah, because you mentioned before, back in the heyday, it was trying to keep up with the demand. And now it almost seems like, the supply and demand ratio may be out of whack, and we may be set for a correction, at least in terms of the numbers that you hear from RRC and the boomers leaving, and whether or not we are doing, whether or not we're going to be successful in filling whatever gap they leave behind.
Well, I agree, and I think the numbers and the work of the Kottke study and RRC are critically important, and we as an industry need to pay attention to those. And they aren't necessarily the most exciting or sexiest thing we do, but they're fundamentally important. And we need to look at where our skier visits have been nationally and regionally over the last 20 or 30 years. We need to look at that core base of how many people in America consider themselves skiers, and probably sub 3%. And we need to look at maybe that there is some flatness. So how do we fix that? And I would say that there are ways to fix it, but the way we've based the ability to try to grow our business has been, again, trying to be everything, trying to have a better delivery system. We have perfected what we've done with delivery of rentals, and the experience of giving a good registration process and a cup of hot chocolate and a fireplace and delivery of a lesson, really taking care of the customer and lowering the constraints. We've excelled at that. But there's another part, I think, to making it successful that goes along with that we've maybe ignored. And so when I look at our numbers and our conversion numbers of, depending on who you believe, 15 to 19% of our new skiers, our learners, all right, our beginners, are converted. And we don't like that. It's a low number. And so I would look at that and say, okay, I think there's a part two to that. That means 81 to 85% of those people that leave our sport after trying it, after being introed, are either passives or detractors. Now, what do we know? We know that for every passive and detractor, they take away supporters. I mean, it's a dramatic impact. Would we be better served by having half the number of new skiers next year if we could convert 50% of them into the business?
Yeah, right, okay.
And I would argue not only would we have an increased, basically a comparative 25% conversion to the original number, more importantly, we would effectively cut by over 70%. We would drop from 85 detractors and passives, we'd drop that number to 25.
I see what you're saying now. What you're saying is that instead of concentrate on just the tippy top of the funnel and just cramming more people into the funnel, we should be looking at the funnel itself and converting more of those people that we already have coming through our front door into the lifelong customer.
And focus on how to reach the new skier that in fact really fits, that really wants to be a skier. I don't know the answer to this, but I think that's a great challenge for us as a ski area.
So that's data and profiling and those areas, isn't it?
I think so, and I also think that personally I'll rely on all the much smarter and younger men and women in our company that are going to be able to do that. And I think that starts with picking the right people, having the right excitement and energy, and knowing how to go after those people and make sure we spend the time to, in fact, convert a higher percentage of a smaller number of people.